So one of my biggest honors being in this position is actually to present the Society for Vascular Surgery Lifetime Achievement Awards. And it's really the highest honor that we give to any of our members. The selection of this honor recognizes an individual's outstanding and sustained contributions, both to the profession and to the Society for Vascular Surgery, as well as an exemplary professional practice and leadership. So this next individual achieves a Lifetime Achievement Award, having spent his entire clinical career in New York, serving a working class community, yet nevertheless having a dramatic influence both nationally and internationally, influencing the maturation of vascular surgery. His leadership is evident through his selection to esteemed positions, including presidency of the Eastern Vascular Society, the Society for Clinical Vascular Surgery, the Society for Vascular Surgery, and the World Federation of Vascular Societies, which he helped to establish. He initiated several committees and programs within the SBS, such as the Clinical Practice Guidelines Committee, the Professional Conduct Committee, the Medal of Innovation in Vascular Surgery, the International Relations Committee, and served as its chair, the International Scholars Program, and the International Lifetime Achievement Award. He has been especially influential in championing the SBS and our specialty in South America, and by initiating exchange programs with the European Society for Vascular Surgery. He's an expert in open surgical and endovascular techniques, as exemplified by his impressive list of publications. He's championed minimally invasive interventions like ultrasound-guided angiography, minimal incision vascular surgery, and outpatient vascular surgery well ahead of its time. His willingness to be on the cutting edge has helped to keep vascular surgery at the forefront of vascular care. His contributions to the SBS and our specialty in the US and abroad really stands out above the rest. So my esteemed guest, it is my honor to present the Society for Vascular Surgery Lifetime Achievement Award to Dr. Enrico Ascher.
I'm not as smart as you in Fresh, I have to read. Thank you very much, President Ossing, Executive Board, Nominating Committee, and members of this great society. Thank you all for this unique recognition. Wow, it's quite a humbling experience, especially for somebody who came from a small town, a small district in Rio de Janeiro called Mayor. A super wonderful experience, as my 5-year-old grandson Eli would call it, super wonderful. It's even more humbling to be included with the past awardees, many great innovators and major contributors to our specialty. Today, the SBS make history once again by rewarding for the very first time a woman vascular leader, a person most deserving of this high recognition, a trailblazer. So congratulations, Dr. Freischlag. It's a pleasure and an honor to stand side by side with you in this unforgettable moment in time. My journey as a family man, surgeon, academician, and private practitioner, and yes, as a disruptor, has been exciting, full of unexpected turns, but never lonely. To my son, Michael Sam, who taught me not to fear the unknown when I needed to change the path of my life. And my daughter, Andrea Rachel, who gave me so many valuable advices over the years. And to my beautiful granddaughter, Jordana, thanks for being here today, Jordana. And to my grandson, Zaki, thank you very much. Thank you for all the love. Natalie, it's only fair to share with you this award. Dr. Marks is the ideal partner as a companion, a business associate, and a prime mover in many of our most significant scientific contributions. Part of me wished I was getting the Young Investigators Award so I could spend many more times with you. The legendary Frank Veith recently stated during one of his lectures that in order to succeed, one needs to be lucky. Luck is to find an associate that you trust, respect, and admire for over 25 consecutive years. Thank you, Anil, for being who you are. Dr. Anil Hingorani is a leader in vascular surgery on his own merit. Without a doubt, I'm very lucky to have had Dr. Veith as a mentor, a good friend, and an inspiring leader. He is the one who single-handedly moved our specialty to the next level. Thank you, Frank, and congratulations for the SBS Distinguished Lectureship in your honor. Well deserved. Lucky I was to benefit from the expert help provided over the years by my dear friend, Dr. Tony Sidawi. Tony is one of the most fair-minded, dedicated, balanced, and unfailingly generous person I know. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the support of other leaders in vascular surgery, like Dr. Bruce Perler, Kit Caligaro, Michelle Macaroon, Alia Burama, Clem Darling, Peter Klovitsky, Ken Oriel, Palmer Shaw, Herb Dardig, Robert Hobson, Karen Rockman, Sam Money, Alan Ditzik, and so many others. I'm sorry I don't have the time to recognize you all, but thank you for all your help throughout my career. Last but not least, I would like to leave you with some quick thoughts. One, is it time for us to consider whether our patients would do better if we are to identify a network of vascular services willing and able to manage highly complex cases like excision of infected aortic grafts or aortic arch replacement? Would regionalization, remember the word regionalization, of vascular cases save lives and limbs? Just a thought. Two, vascular surgery matured, flourished, and incorporated numerous new techniques and approaches. Should we evaluate the impact of subspecialization in vascular surgery? Are we expected to offer up-to-date management with a good clinical experience in all areas of vascular surgery? Maybe subspecialization is something to think about. Three, I don't have to tell this group of vascular surgeons that many stressors are included in our daily activities with elderly patients, with severe comorbidities. While lots of smart people are investigating work-life balance leading to burnout for surgeons, wouldn't this be the right time to also improve our selection process for those seeking surgery as a career? Just limiting our selection process to a cursory interview may cause us to miss important signals. Thus, should we add a psychological profile? Or maybe we should devote some energy to study a way to differentiate those who have the ability to compartmentalize from those who can't. This process may eventually save lives as well. Lives that we know and we have seen and we have witnessed. At times this happens. Lastly, for the younger group in the audience, my message is, please don't allow the naysayers to discourage you from your original ideas, particularly if these ideas are challenging old dogmas and beliefs. Vascular surgery needs you to evolve and prosper, and we are confident that you will achieve this goal. Thank you very much for this excellent honor. Thank you.
Well, today has really been a very outstanding day. Enrico Ascher has just received the SVS Distinguished Lifetime Achievement Award, and our little group of friends and colleagues of Enrico is gathered to say a few words as to why he was so deserving of this award. I can tell you from my own vantage point, he came to me as a fellow 100 years ago, and from the start, he was an outstanding guy. He was head and shoulders above the other fellows, involved in both in his clinical abilities, his interaction with patients, his lust for research. He should have gotten this award many years ago, but is most deserving of getting it now. So, Tony Sidawi, what would be your thoughts about Enrico?
Well, let me tell you, I don't think I've met a vascular surgeon, or for that matter, any surgeon who is more thoughtful and more innovative about doing things. So let me tell you the story. When Enrico was the president of the SVS, I was the secretary of the SVS. And he managed to figure out when I leave work, get in my car to go home, because every time he called me on my cell phone, I'm in my car. He used to call me like at least once or twice a week. Every time he calls, he's got a new idea to make vascular surgery better and to make our society better. Some of the ideas are so radical, he doesn't want to put them out there. He tries to get me to do it. So he would say, what do you think about this? I say, well, Enrico, that may irritate some people. Well, that's why I'm calling you. Maybe you should do it. However, though, leaving the joke aside, he really did so much for our specialty and started so many programs and so many side meetings and so many societies that it's really, I don't think anyone else has done what he did for it. The interesting stuff, he is still doing that. So even now, he's still coming up with these ideas that he tries to put out there and to make the society better. I was walking over there to come to meet you folks, and he was walking away in the other direction with his family who came and attended the award celebration. And he approached me with another idea. What do you think if we could do that? I said, Enrico, why don't you go and have a good lunch with your family, with your children and granddaughter, and we could talk about it later. But that's who is Enrico Ascher.
I was going to echo a lot of what Dr. Sadawi said. I have to say, with all due deference to the geniuses I'm surrounded by here, that Enrico probably has been one of the most creative vascular surgeons I've known. He's always thinking of different ways to do things, like Tony was saying. And that has been true ever since I was a fellow under Dr. Veith and Dr. Ascher to the present day. He's always thinking, he doesn't want to accept, the status quo. He's always trying to think of different ways of doing things. He's very forward thinking, and today's SVS has, some of its structure because of Enrico's thinking. He was the one who came up with the clinical council, and he was the one who came up with some of the other committees and councils 15 years ago that are still now in place. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think the SVS would have the present structure it has.
Most people think about ideas that have already been put out there into the ether. Enrico thinks about things that haven't been done yet. I mean, when you just think about it, I remember the first time I saw his presentation on doing angioplasty in the office under ultrasound, and I sat there and I said, that is lunacy. What is he thinking? The problem was he was too far ahead. He's ahead of the curve. He's always ahead of the curve, both in his ideas for vascular surgery and his creative ideas for our societies and the societies he's created, like the most recent society, the Frank J. Veith International Society. So this is who Enrico is, always thinking of the next step. Everyone else thinks about what has been done. He thinks about what hasn't been done.
I have known Enrico for more than 3 decades now, and we became very good friends very early because of the very similar background that we had. He came from Brazil, I came from Hungary, and we very luckily have been accepted by the vascular surgery community in this country. And it gave us an opportunity to progress and to really contribute. And that's what Enrico did. Enrico contributed so much, not just to our profession, but to the Society for Vascular Surgery, for which he got the recognition today that he so greatly deserved, but also to the World Federation of Vascular Societies, to the Frank J. Veith International Society, to the Pan-American meetings, in the last several decades now, and to the Veith meeting. He has been really a major player and a great help to Dr. Veith during the past 49 or 50 years now. I think his value is that he's an innovator, he's a thinker, he is a good man who wants the vascular patients, be better, and who wants our profession to be better. And altogether, it has been a real pleasure to have known him for so many years.
So I can't speak to what he was like as a fellow because I was in diapers at the time. I have no idea, but I can definitely speak to him now. I'll tell you this, Dr. Ascher is somebody that we as the younger crowd aspire to be. And the reason that he's so incredible, and I can say it with absolute certainty, I have run into him essentially when he was having lunch with his family, and I just went over to introduce myself. This is a few years ago now, going on about 5 years ago. And he stops exactly what he's doing, turns, gives me the time of day, and he is such a great man. And indeed, for us, when we meet people like yourselves. You know, you are the leaders that pave the way for us. We know that. We read your textbooks. We, you know, see you in the flesh, and it is very true that there's that sense of, oh gosh, you know, I'm meeting a vascular celebrity, and you know, and a lot of people just dismiss us, or you know, go back to what they're doing, or they're not approachable. Dr. Ascher is like front and center as the person that we can go to, whether we are first-year medical students, whether we are residents, which is when I met him, or even now at this age. And I know if I were to send him an email, be like, hey, I need help with literally insert anything, I will get a phone call within a few minutes. Not only is he kind and a great man, which is, I think, number one, first and foremost, but he's someone that is like incredibly like aspirational for all of us. So, you know, at this, you're exactly right. He doesn't need to be here. He doesn't need to talk to any of us. He has made it in life, and will go down in history as someone who has, and yet insists on still continuing to make things better. And that is something that is unique, frankly, and I can tell you as a mentee seeing, and we are like incredibly grateful, and I can't think of someone more deserving of this award. He probably should have got it 5 years ago.
Well, that reminds me of something, actually, what Dr. Dua said about Enrico Ascher, the man, really. I mean, we're talking about him as a professional here, but as a man, he is the most generous.
Yeah.
He is the nicest. I don't think that Enrico has any enemies. I really don't, personally, because how can you not think so positively about this person? He's always there, as you said, and he is so good and so generous to so many people, including people here. I mean, we go to New York. Well, let's go out to dinner, and he would want to take care of it. Sometimes we let him, sometimes we don't. But every single, but you can every time we try to, but every time he's going to offer to do it. So he's really a great person, and I think we're all better off as friends because.
And just one other aspect of Enrico that I think is really obvious to all of us, and we kind of talked a little bit about that, but haven't articulated it. I think Enrico is the international ambassador of vascular surgery.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I mean, he is really known all around the world, but actually he really makes an effort to bring everybody together as an international community.
I don't know how many people realize, other than, of course, his inner circle of friends and colleagues, how hard Enrico works.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there is no one I have ever met in vascular surgery that works harder than Enrico. I mean, until, what, a year or two ago, he was working 6 to 7 days a week?
He still is.
And publishing?
Still is.
Still is.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, he absolutely.
Today is June 15th. We are at the Society for Vascular Surgery's 2023 VAM meeting. And today we have learned that Dr. Enrico Ascher was awarded the SVS Lifetime Achievement Award. And that speaks volumes. But what our viewers want to know is how their children feel about the honor and what it was like growing up with Dr. Ascher.
Growing up with my dad, it was truly an amazing experience. You know, he was truly a role model. A fond memory I have, well, it's not really a fun, it was fun and bittersweet at the same time. You know, as a lot of people know, he worked, 100 hours a week, and to give us a good education and a good public school system, he used to commute 2 hours to work. And so he would leave at 5 a.m., usually come in around 11 or midnight. And I remember a handful of occasions where he actually got home at 10 o'clock, and I was up doing homework, and then our home phone would ring, and it would be an emergency back in Brooklyn at the hospital where he had to go back and work. And I just remember my heart sinking for him about how hard he was working to give us the best life, but also seeing that with someone pursuing their dreams and not only working hard but also invested in academics and invested in helping people. And he didn't complain, he never uttered a word about, he just literally went to the bathroom and then turned right back and pulled the car out of the garage and left. And I used to pack him, some grapes or some cheese or some snacks because I just felt so bad that he had to do this hour to 2 hour commute back to the city. But what that taught me was that, the value of hard work, the value of caring for other people, and also to follow your passion, because it's not just about livelihood or anything like that. He really cares about his patients. He cares about the colleagues he works with. He's always investing in their development, always trying to help people do better, get better positions, get more education. So he really was an inspiration to me, and I know my brother as well, in terms of doing that, and it really led me to become the hard worker that I believe that I am, and invest in helping people as well.
So your father instilled values in both of you since the time you were little kids. Your dad has been an activist in the vascular surgery community. Clearly, he's been a leader inside the SVS. He's a leader inside the VEITH Symposium in New York City, which he tends to every year. As a leader in a political circle like the SVS, do you have any comments about his work that you'd like to bring to the attention of our viewers?
Well, I think he's definitely, he can be extremely collaborative. He can think outside the box. I see him as a bridge builder in a lot of ways.
Brings a lot of innovation to his colleagues, and really good at putting together a lot of ideas, and I would say, collaboration.
And he's very approachable, at least I believe so. And he helps people to be their best selves.
Jordana, you are the darling granddaughter of Dr. Ascher. I know you have a lot to say. What would you like to say to your grandfather today?
Great job. You did amazing. I really don't have any words to say.
I'd like to thank you for being here today to share this great activity at the VAM meeting, and see you soon. Dr. Marks, it's a pleasure to see you here today. We just celebrated a wonderful achievement of your partner, Dr. Enrico Ascher. What do you have to say about everything?
Congratulations, long time overdue. I know you for many years, and you've always been an incredible inspiration. I've observed you in every single capacity, as the operating surgeon, as an investigator, as a leader. And every time you set such incredible high plank and the standard that it gives the boost of energy, gave me an inspiration to pursue my career and fall in love with the vascular studies and vascular surgery and vascular medicine, and built my career based on that. And it's an incredible honor to be part of your professional and life journey. I feel very, very lucky, and I hope we can still fulfill many, many projects and many chapters together for years to come.
Dr. Marks, besides Dr. Ascher being so involved in the U.S. community as a leader in vascular surgery, you've traveled with him all over the world.
Absolutely.
In particular, he stands out in South America. Why does he stand out in South America?
Well, he lived a long period of his life and was trained in Brazil. And I believe from the very beginning, from his medical school to his residency, he already stood out among his peers as a person who was inquisitive and creative, and it's very much valued in South America, being a top-notch technician as a surgeon, and the person with charisma, and a person who likes people, who likes to be a mentor. So people just flock to him, flock for advice, for inspiration, for ideas of where to move their careers and how to become better surgeons and better human beings for themselves. So that's why he created that reputation, because of his daily hard work and his impeccable professional ethics. So people like that, they stand out and they lead.
Congratulations, Enrico!